It's time to take a look at the reserve list, and this is your installment of the reserve list top 10, that weekly viewing of how the reserve list is doing. From March 15th to the 22nd of 2025, the numbers this week, well, they're pretty surprising for everyone involved. Just how well is the reserve list doing? How good are the sales? How much are people playing with these cards? And who, if anyone, is speculating? Well, that's what we're here to find out. I'm MTG Mox, man. We're taking a look at the hottest selling cards in Magic right now in the reserve list. And of course, if you're interested in supporting my channel, use my TCG Player affiliate link found in the description of this video. Now, the number 10 card this week, of course, is a personal card of the channel. This is Soldevi Excavations from Alliances, locking in the number 10 spot this week with 40 sales or $440.80 of total sales action. Now, Alliances, of course, was a very well-received set back in the day. It had a lot of great cards that players still utilize to this day, but Soldevi holds that special place as the first kind of card that let you scry ahead to see what's coming. Now, this card averages $11.02 per copy for a near mint quality. Now, this card's barely changing right now. Its high has only been $45, but let's take a look closely at what this card does. Soldevi Excavations is one of those cards that when you take a look at it, you may miss what's really going on. It's a land card that when it comes into play, you have to sacrifice an untapped island or you bury Soldevi Excavations, but you can pay one blue and one other to scry. That's right, a cheap form. Now, our number 9 card this week is Wheel of Fortune from Revised Edition. This card has been holding very strong in a lot of sales right now. It has 42 sales this week or $13,019 of total sales action. Overall, though, this card is doing something I think we really do need to talk about here, and that is it's not losing ground. It's not losing money. When you see this thing only went down 1 penny this month, that's next to nothing. So what's really going on is what players need to be aware of. The copies being bought, whether they're near mint or heavily played, they're being held on to. They're not being freed back into the market, and that's putting a little bit of a strain on the supply chain of this particular card. Wheel of Fortune, of course, is a 1 red, 2 other. It is a sorcery, and what this thing does is phenomenal. All players must discard their hands and draw 7 new cards. I don't need to tell you what happens when you draw 7 new cards. I'm sure you'll figure it out. Our number 8 card actually works very well with Wheel of Fortune, and this is Fork from Revised Edition, locking in number 8 this week with 47 sales or $1,722.08 of total sales action. The quality copies selling are everything under the sun, from near mint, light played, moderately played, and heavily played. No damaged copies this week, but Fork is an amazing card. It's been climbing a little bit, so it's something to keep an eye on. $39.64 is your average price. It's been as high as $170 US, and the monthly change is actually $4.36. That is significant, so keep an eye on it. Now, we're going to forget that this thing is an interrupt. Let's just pretend it's an instant because interrupts don't exist anymore in Magic the Gathering. So for 2 red, this card does something that every player loves to do, and that's to mess around. Any one sorcery or instant spell you just cast, that was just cast, remember this wording is everything, is duplicated. Treat Fork as an exact copy of that spell, except for you choose new targets. Very nice. Now, our next card is Academy Rector from Urza's Destiny. That's right, the destiny is upon us, and this thing is just hanging in there. It was here last week, it's here again. 50 sales this week. Now, the number 7 spot, that's still $3,374.50 of total sales action. And when we're looking at the Academy Rector, let's not forget what this thing's going to do. It's not as if it's being sought after for its powerhouse, toughness, and attack speed. As a 1/2 creature, this thing is next to nothing. It's been as high as $150 though, so something's going on, right? And the monthly change is $2.49. A lot of reserve list cards apparently are on their way up. So the Academy Rector, for 1 white and 3 other, this card is going to let you go back and do something. When it's put into a graveyard from play, you can remove it from the game, but if you do, you search your library for any enchantment card and you put it into play. Yeah, it can be game ending. Pay attention to cards like this on the reserve list. Now our next card is Brain Geyser, another card from Revised Edition that seems to keep making a list here. Number 6 this week, 53 sales. That's $1,004.88 of total sales action. Surprisingly enough, a lot of the cards selling this week were near mint. Players were going for the good stuff, and that's because this thing's been as low as like $7, $8 this year. In 2024, $7-8, and it's been on a climb kind of anywhere since October of 2024 onward. It's just slowly been increasing month over month. This card's gained $2.97 in the last month, and it's been on a couple of my top 10s, which means a lot of players are taking an interest in the card. Now, what does it do? Well, for 2 blue plus X. That means you can spend 20 mana, 40 mana, 100 mana for this sorcery. Target player must draw X amount of cards. Yep, this thing can do a lot of people in. You can add that in with Fork, by the way. It can be a lot of fun. Yeah, think about it. Now our next card. Grim Monolith is still here. Urza's Legacy. Now you can see first edition foils like this, $2,400. But this thing's locking in the number 5 spot with 54 sales or $18,157.50. And by the way, this thing also sold a lot of copies right now that were from the World Championship editions. Those are not counted in these card counts, but it's something to keep note of because they're like $30. Now, this card right now is $336.25 per copy for a near mint copy. This thing's been as high as $450. It has a monthly change of $36.25, which means this card is on its way up, and a lot of players are taking an interest in buying copies of this card. Surprisingly, again, this one selling right now is mostly moderately played copies are the bulk of the sales this week. That means they're going to be playing with them. These are ending up in commander decks, and there's some speculators tailing in here because somebody bought 10 copies. That's not for personal use. Now, our next card is Unfulfilled Desires, Mirage. This thing has been on the list, and it's getting to the point it may challenge Fastbond for being the longest card on my top 10. This week, 64 sales or $1,592.96 of total sales action. This card continues to see action because of Commander. Players like buying it. They like having copies available. And you know what? It's not losing value, so players are recognizing, so are stores, because buy lists are going on, that you know this thing is worth the money right now. And a lot of us, including myself, still believe this is going to drop back down to around the $10 level, but we won't know that for another 6 months. So stay tuned. We'll keep you updated as this comes along. So what happens with this card? Well, when we take a look at Unfulfilled Desires for 1 black, 1 blue, and 1 other, we get a card that lets us do something that everyone loves to do. You get to pay a life. No, that's not it. Come on, you guys know I'm kidding. You draw a card and then you choose and discard a card for that 1 and the 1 life, which means, yep, it's a perfect card for everybody. Let's go and take a look at our next card. It's Copy Artifact, coming in now at $151.08. This is its 5th week on the list. Number 3 with 70 sales yet again. Guys, that's $10,575.60. You guys, I hope, are aware that right there in December of 2024, this thing was like $30 a copy. What is going on? Well, a lot of people are buying copies. This does not appear to be speculation at this point because it's single copies selling from single vendors. A lot of individual stores have sold them. That's just some word salad. Go with me on this. It's early in the morning when I'm recording here. Now, when we look at this card, it's gone up over $70 in 1 month. Okay, this thing's basically doubled its track record in a month, and before that it doubled over again. So there's a lot of people buying copies of this card. Now, for 1 blue and 1 other, Copy Artifact, it is still an enchantment, but it's affected by enchantments and artifacts, but it copies any single artifact in play. If the original Copy Artifact is still there when the artifact that was the original copy of it gets destroyed, Copy Artifact's still around, so don't worry. Now, our next card. This is Mox Diamond. That's right, guys. Mox Diamond Stronghold. Remember this card? Apparently, a lot of people wanted it because it went to number 2. It had 82 sales this week. That's $52,910 for this Stronghold card. OMG, what is going on? I couldn't believe it. Now, we have a couple of things to note here at the end of the video about this particular sales transaction, so make sure you stick around to the end of my video because we have some stuff to talk about on the market of this card. Now, it's averaging $645.25 per copy. The market says $590. TCG Player, you can find it for $550, so we have some variance in the price of the card. But when you go and look at the overall change, it's $15.26 this month. This card has been on a tear since early 2024 with continual increases in price. It used to be like $390 about a year ago. So where are we going with stuff like this? Now, Mox Diamond, 0 casting cost, and this one's not legendary, which is kind of crazy, right? It's just an artifact. But when Mox Diamond comes into play, you choose and discard a land card, or you sacrifice Mox Diamond, but this thing taps to add any color to your mana pool. Play this as a mana source. Yeah, you can see why people want it for their commander decks. Game changer, right? Game changer. Now let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the number 1 card. This is Savannah, revised edition. Average price, $333.67. It locks in the number 1 spot with 86 sales, or $28,695.62. You can thank all the local people, worldwide people, traveler people who took advantage of a very strong American dollar. And they decided to buy a lot of copies in Canada. They cleaned a lot of stores out, took a lot of this product stuff home, and now there's a lot of Savannahs going over the border in the next couple of weeks. Be aware of it, guys. This one just got sucker punched and taken to the cleaners. The monthly change is $7.01. So what's going on? Well, let's forget the fact this thing's a dual land and the can go tap for green or white. Helps out everybody who like playing those colors. Cards like this aren't made anymore. You can't get them, and finding nice quality copies is even harder, and that's what got hit this week on the market. Now let's get to the wrap up here so we can talk about the overall market transactions going on for the reserve list this week. There's a lot of different words that can have you jump up and down with excitement. Things that are beyond your expectations. Things that bring joy, shock, and awe. All these words can describe what just happened on the reserve list this week, because this market is jumping. Now, seeing cards like Mox Diamond sell, and if you're that person out there who bought the 12 copies from the LGS, that LGS was happy to sell 12 copies to you, but at the same time, paying cash to get that discount, kudos to you. And yes, that was a person visiting from America who bought those 12 copies. Awesome. Now, at the same time, the exchange rates on dollars is huge right now. So I can understand why people with a stronger US dollar are buying cards in countries where their dollar is stronger and where there's good shipping policies to make sure your card arrives safely. I'm not saying every card went to the US, but a lot of them did. Wow. So at the same time, a couple of smaller things to mention that happened in this market. There was power cards moving this week. They are not making the list, but there was more than enough to mention here at the end of the video. We had multiple Moxes sell. Sapphire, Ruby, and of course, Pearl. Those ones sold multiple copies this week, and they were all unlimited. At the same time, we had collector edition copies sell of all kinds of power cards, and those ones were anything from Ancestral Recall to Black Lotuses. They all moved in the market. Now, there's a lot of reasons why the market is going to move this way. There's a lot of reasons why the singles market is kind of slowing down on regular cards as players get amped up for Tarkir. And we'll talk about that for Monday's video, because it was a real thing going on right now. And it's something we need to discuss about the sealed product and the state of sealed product for those cards. We'll talk about that Monday, though you can tune in for that one. But for the reserve list, when you see good deals, and by the way, players trading in modern staples, trading in commander cards that they have multiple copies of to be able to snag. Well, okay, just a one-off. You guys may have noticed Tiamat. That's right, the card from Dungeons & Dragons, the 5-headed dragon, Tiamat. The price went through the roof. I did discuss this in a Tarkir video earlier, telling you the 5 cards you should have been buying. I warned people. The sales went through the roof. But at the same time, stores were trying to buy copies. There are people who traded in multiple copies to get some really good reserve list cards, including dual lands and a time walk. Guys, always be aware when these spikes happen, they are likely not, they're not going to hold. It's not like there's not a lot of Tiamats out there. This is a surge in the market. Take advantage of it when it happens. Write the cards down. Buy them back when the price drops. You got to hit the market at the right time. And this person did. So when they're going to go out there looking for these cards that they want to add to their commander decks, looking to start their first vintage legacy style decks by buying dual lands, it makes perfect sense to me. This market is hot right now. There's not a lot of conversation about it, but I'm telling you, I'm seeing it. It's happening. Maybe not big enough for the really big channels to take notice yet, but if this continues, especially with cards like Copy Artifact, if it continues the way it is, People can't ignore this much longer. And whoever's doing it quietly is going to get found out because it's going to start going around. Be aware of FOMO events. Don't jump on the bandwagon. The prices will settle down. They will not continue this surge much longer unless it's a major event. But even then, somebody's going to be caught holding the bag. Be aware of it. Don't let it be you, okay? Think it through. Guys, thanks again for hanging out. I'll see you guys on the live stream tonight. If you can make it out, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time every Sunday. And tomorrow we got to talk about what's happening with Tarkir because it is crazy. I'll see you guys soon. Have a great day. Hey guys, a big shout out and thank you to the fantastic patrons of my channel. Without those patrons, daily uploaded content, well, it just wouldn't be happening. It wouldn't be possible. So if you're a YouTube membership member, maybe you're one of my patrons, thanks again for supporting the channel. To my regular viewers out there, giving these videos thumbs up every day, watching right at 11:15 to catch the algorithm and help my channel grow. Guys, I can't thank my appreciation higher than I already am, but I'm going to keep trying to just one-up myself and say thank you again for supporting my channel. Have a great one, everyone. Baby. Welcome back to the Ramble Jamble. That was a wild one, wasn't it? Whoa, ho, ho. I thought last week we were going to be trending down with everyone using their wallet cash to buy new stuff. Apparently there's a lot of guys out there, a lot of people, and they want to get reserve list cards. They're looking to get the dual lands, forks, time walks, black lotuses. They're looking for this stuff. You know what they got to trade in? Apparently, people like Tiamat right now. Apparently, things like Copper Dragon still sell quite well. Maybe even Sheoldred, the Apocalypse, which people were getting out of Jumpstart boxes of Dominator United. These things get traded in, and you got yourself some power cards. You got yourself some dual lands. You got yourself a whole lot of Savannas. Mox Diamond. I don't know what to say about that one. You thought it was going to slip by, but I got peeps. I got peeps out there who share this information. I tracked it all down. Woo! There's a lot of people buying that card right now. Surprisingly, a lot of light to near mint copies selling. Keep that in mind. It kind of signals speculation. Guys, thanks again. Thanks for being here. Thanks for yeah. Okay, you understand. Yeah, you get me. Yeah. Ramble Jamble.